starring Huckleberry Finn, the King, Mary Jane and her three sisters, the Watchman, Tom Sawyer, Jim, the random security guy, Lit Crit Dude, the Duke, Dead Mr. Wilkes, and most important, the narrator. Long ago, in a land far, far away, there lived a boy named Huckleberry Finn.
Howdy, the name's Huckleberry Finn. I have a drunkard for a dad, and my ma is dead. But the widow, Miss Watson, treat me mighty kind.
Now, like most 13-year-old boys, Huckleberry Finn is quite the liar.
Well, excuse you, sir, but just who do you think you are?
Are you denying it? Anyways, Huck Finn is a boy who fibs when it's convenient for himself or when he needs to for the sake of other people. Of course, this isn't confined to just Huck himself. Today, we will take a journey and analyze the progression of his lies and deceptions throughout his journey down the river.
Hold on now, we're just gonna what?
At the very start of his journey, Huck encounters a steamboat by the name of the Walter Scott that has crashed on a bank in the Mississippi River. He decides to explore it and to try and find some loot.
Look, Jim, a steamboat. I bet there's lots of treasures on board. Let's loot it.
I don't know about that, Huck. I've got a bad feeling about going on board here on your steamship. What if there's watchmen on it? And there could be other people that could see us.
Man, I sure wish Tom Sawyer was here to see this.
Huck, you listening?
I'm gonna go on the ship, Jim.
Did you hear anything I just said?
Upon boarding the ship, Huck finds himself in quite the predicament, trapped as he hears criminals arguing about whether to kill one of their colleagues. He comes to realize that it would be best to sink the ship after looting its goods.
I've got the goods, and the ship started sinking. Time to make my escape. Where's the raft?
Over here.
20 minutes later.
Sir, I need your help.
What's the matter, lad?
Down the river, there's a wreck.
What, you don't mean the Walter Scott?
Yes, the Walter Scott. Anyway, there's an awful peck of trouble. Pap and Mam and Sis and Miss Hooker. That is, it's sinking, but they've nowhere to go.
Did you say Miss Hooker, one of the daughters from the richest families in town? Skipper, turn her around. We've got a damsel in distress.
Man, I'm clever. Sure wish the widow were here to see me now.
In the beginning of the novel, Huck attempts to lie and deceive people in order to get out of things and pull pranks, such as when he and Tom tricked Jim into believing in witchcraft. Now, Huck is attempting to prevent a possible murder and capture criminals. This scene demonstrates how he actually does have a conscience and lies to save others, even when they don't deserve it. Let's remember that Huck Finn wasn't the only liar down south. These here gentlemen are the scummiest of them all. Huckleberry and Jim had the pleasure of meeting them as they were literally running from the law.
Oh, if you only knew the burden I've carried for so many years. My heart aches with the weight of it all. I have a terrible confession to make. I am a duke, by the right of it.
Yeah. If you're the Duke, then I'm the rightful descendant of many kings.
It didn't take me too long to make up my mind that these liars weren't no kings nor dukes at all, but the low-down humbugs and frauds. But I didn't say nothing to Jim, since it wouldn't do anybody good.
Right from the get-go, we get the impression that these two are no saints. Contrary to what Huck lies for, the dynamic duo could not care less about others. They feel no shame in deceiving everyone and taking on false roles to seem like they are superior than others. Even Huck recognizes them in this story, and doesn't even make an effort to argue with them. Similar to many other criminals, our favorite dynamic duo choose to start small with casual cons, but petty lies soon turn to outright scams, more notably their notorious The Royal Nonsuch performance.
Say, Arkansas really weren't understanding yesterday's Shakespeare. What do you say we dumb it down a bit? Give him some low-down comedy.
For once, you got a pretty good idea.
Boo!
This show sucks! Where's my money?
Boo!
Presenting...
Where are they? Boo! I want my money back. This is trash.
Oh no, I can't hear you over the sound of my rightful earnings. Hey, you, get the oars. We're getting out of here quick.
So, how'd it go?
Not too swell, but I got the loot.
These here fools are the lowest of the low, and as such, resort to making dirty money. This event marked a point of no return for the Duke and Dauphin. In chapter 25, they bite off more than they can chew when they decide to scam the Wilkes family.
Alrighty, so I think I've come up with my best plan yet. We'll pretend to be the British brothers of the dead Wilkes guy and act all nice until we can run off with the money.
Sounds evil. Just the way I like it.
Am I really gonna defile this grave for money? Of course I am!
Oh, my brother. I'm so sorry for all your losses. Oh my gosh, I'm so moved. You care so much about my father. Let me get you your share of money. All this money, but I could have more.
Don't you think that's a bit far?
Not far enough. Hey girls, now that we've known each other for a whole 12 hours, we're gonna take you back to Europe with us. Let's sell all your slaves and property. A bit sudden, but okay. Oh ho ho, little do they know.
As mentioned earlier, Huck wasn't the only person who lied his way out of situations. These two men scammed the people out of $495 by advertising for shows that only lasted a few minutes. They ran before the final show after 3 days to avoid getting caught. From this scene, we find out that in addition to hiding their real identities, the king and duke lied to others for selfish and malevolent reasons. On the contrary, Huck's nature is not to lie like the king and duke. He's not a bad person and only lies when necessary. Furthermore, these white lies are usually not meant to damage those that he lies to. As a result, the progression of lies and deception throughout the novel develop from superficial lies to ones that have a larger impact on the people involved, in addition to developing characters' personalities. Huck once again crafts a lie out of thin air, this time to live with the two people holding Jim until they can get him back to Miss Watson. Posing as their nephew, Tom formulates a plan to break Jim out. Eventually, Huck finds out that he is posing as Tom Sawyer, his best friend, and is living with Tom's Aunt Sally and Uncle Silas. When he discovers this, Huck goes off to meet him on his arrival.
By golly, is that Tom Sawyer?
I ain't never done you no harm. What do you want to come back to hate me for?
Tom, it's me. I'm alive.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding me, Huck? Crikey, what brings you down here?
Long story short, I faked my death, and now I'm on the run with a slave. You know, Mrs. Watson's Jim. Anyways, he's been caught, and now he's trapped on your aunt's farm. Tom, you gotta help me here.
I could tell him, but I could also not. All right, I'll help you steal Jim.
I knew I could count on you, Tom. Man, what a good guy.
Classic Tom. Choosing adventure where there is no consequence for himself, but for others. Here's where we see that Tom, despite being Huck's friend, is nothing like him, having either no regard of awareness of those around him.
Actually, Tom Sawyer serves a very important role in this scene. It's true that Tom comes out and plunges them both into the work of the evasion. However, the situation also brings, fitting necessarily, that Huck must be brought back into the segment of society that is, by the world's standards, appropriate to him, a boy's world. So in the end, while Tom deceives Huck by holding back the truth, he still reminds the audience that in the end, Huck is still a 13-year-old boy.
Where did this guy come from? Security! Random person as security. The narrator. Oh, who's this? I don't really care. We're almost done and I feel very happy now. I feel we'll leave that to the Long ago, in a land far, far away, there lived a boy named Huckleberry Finn. That was such a... Huckleberry Finn is quite the liar.
Well, excuse me, you sir. Just... But the widow and the Mrs. Watson treat me white a cat.
White a cat.
Wait.
Jacob, you freaking...
My brother, I'm so sorry for all your losses.
Wait,
Wait, you're moving the wrong way.
Father, let me get you your share of money.